I'm John Seacott, executive editor of Brewer. Welcome to another edition of the Brewer Podcast. We are sponsored by Square and Keg Logistics. The thing I love about Square is how it helps take some of that pressure off so you can actually enjoy why you started in the first place. When Square steps in, helping you save on food costs, get your menu seen by millions on Cash App, and get delivery apps payouts faster, it frees up time and mental energy in a world where both are typically in short supply. Square, here for the magic that's not on the menu. Go to square.com/good stuff to get started. That's square.com/good stuff. And you can go to keglogistics.com/brewermag for more details there as well. Sometimes the hardest thing in business is admitting that plan A isn't the right plan. When Appalachian Mountain Brewery announced the creation of Modern Alchemist in Old Fort, North Carolina in September of 25, it was envisioned as something different, a destination built around spirits, food, and new beverage opportunities. But within a year, the company made the decision to bring the location back under the AMB banner, creating what is now another Appalachian Mountain Brewery location. For co-founder Nathan Kelischek, that decision wasn't about abandoning an idea. It was about understanding the value of brand identity, learning from customers, and making sure the business was positioned for long-term success. On this episode of the Brewer Podcast, Nathan shares why the company moved so quickly to make the changes that they needed, what they learned from that experience, and how those lessons tie into a larger journey of regaining ownership of AMB after buying the company back from Anheuser-Busch just a few years ago. Here's more from Nathan Kelischek here on the Brewer Podcast. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. And we're here on the Brewer Podcast with Nathan Kelischek of Appalachian Mountain Brewing and Brewery. Which one are you guys? I know there's always a distinction.
Yeah, it's Appalachian Mountain Brewery.
There you go. And
There you
yeah,
go.
and I actually said, I know there's the whole how to say Appalachian. It's not Appalachian, or don't you care?
I mean, I pronounce it Appalachian, but I mean, a ton of the country also pronounces it the other way.
Yeah,
So just depends on where you are. No
the other
hate
way.
either way.
That means the
Yeah.
wrong way in your mind.
I mean, I don't know why you changed the A pronunciation in the middle of the word, but that's just me, you know. Who
Exactly.
knows?
Well, yeah, I wanted to get you on the podcast and talk a little bit about, what you guys have been doing with Modern Alchemists and,
Yeah.
kind of just the whole journey that you guys have had. And, the introduction to this is that you guys are going to kind of be putting the AMB brand into Modern Alchemist after kind of starting it a while back as a kind of a separate brand. And now it's kind of being under one roof. I mean, kind of lead us into the start of Modern Alchemist and, now why the change is happening right now.
Yeah, I think that Modern Alchemist really started as, honestly, a THC brand. So we've been doing a lot of the infused beverages. We have everything from like mocktails to what we call fizz packs, which are more or less seltzers. We also do like, the 2 ounce shooters, and then we've released our 750 ml Citri, uh, little, 8 months ago. That's doing really well. So, Modern Alchemist started out as this concept as like, all the other innovation items that doesn't really fit under the A and B brand. How do we package that and communicate that in a little, clear sense? And yeah, the THC stuff has been going really well. Unfortunately, we have this pending legislation that's coming up in November, that I'm not very confident with, unfortunately. And obviously we're beverage manufacturers, and we we've wanted to do distillation for a long time. It's been kind of in the back of your mind when you're like spending years and years fighting shelf life. We're like, what can we make that ages with class and style? And that's when we started really dreaming up the distillation side of things. So yeah, Modern Alchemist now includes, a full hard liquor portfolio. The actual concept brick and mortar is down in Old Fort. Um, and yeah, I mean, when we started up in Old Fort as a standalone concept, we it's it's hard to kind of like go back to the beginning, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like A and B, when we started, nobody knew who we were. And, it took, 13 years to kind of get to where we are right now. And we just were like, oh, this standalone brand, it'll do great. And I think that brand recognition, or the lack thereof, was definitely, it rang true. And A and B has, a really good following. We have a great uh, loyal consumer base, which we love and care about, and we, want to create those types of experiences throughout the Northwestern North Carolina region. And it was really a no-brainer to kind of switch up the concept to self-serve Southern style food. Um, you know, beers, ciders, liquor, THC, whatever we say, choose your own journey
Hmm.
um, mentality. So, bring your dogs, really laid back atmosphere, but it's definitely a smaller area than our other locations. So,
Well, and talk about Old Fort, versus where you guys are originally in Boone. About an hour and a half difference, 60 miles or so through the mountains a little bit.
yeah.
Is the area well established for you guys? Did you, that obviously, like you said, you guys are known on that side of the Western North Carolina. So, what's Old Fort versus Boone? Like, is it kind of the same area for you? You feel it's like a new journey on that way, and maybe that was another thing to also not be A and B at the beginning?
Yeah, well, our second location we opened up in Mills River, which where I am now,
Oh,
and
okay.
and Mills River is kind of like the gateway to Pisgah. We have, we're literally at the corner that turns into, outdoor recreation center that has a ton of trails and fishing and outdoor stuff here. And I think Old Fort kind of fills that same concept. They're doing a ton of work on mountain bike trails, and really the outdoor scene is kind of where we're trying to place our hub, or our locations. So that's really the thought process. It's definitely a smaller town, but I really love the investment that they were making into the outdoors, and the community is fantastic. So really happy to be a part of that.
And kind of talking about, switching, like you said, in that first 6 to 8 months, you finally realize I think we need to have the AMB identity a part of this. And I think, Wes Keegan, from Tailgate Brewery, says this: we fail fast so that we go in, know that this isn't going to work, and go and make that switch. Do you guys agree? Like, that's what you did. You failed fast there with just the single name of Modern Alchemist, and kind of get it into the Old Fort AMB location name now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say necessarily, like, I totally understand that mentality, and I agree with it. I think that the space itself is absolutely great.
Yeah.
The concept, the food concept that we went out or started with was awesome. It was just not necessarily like the clientele that was coming in wasn't really, meant for that area. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, we definitely um, read the writing on the wall, and so to speak, and just made the change. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the entrepreneurial mindset, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's kind of what innovations for brewers do all the time. You try some beers in the tap room, and some of them, you'll never make again, and some will be refined and go off to win medals and all that good stuff. So you really just have to take that mentality of continuous improvement, and yeah, it's kind of what we did.
Instead of looking at it in a way like, and again, that's why I hate saying you know, he uses the word fail fast. It sounds
Yeah.
like a negative connotation, but it's really a pivot. I mean, that's really the work behind it.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys have learned though, from this? Like, okay, if we do this again, now we know, you know, the next tap room will be an AMB brand versus we're going to try something different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Modern Alchemist concept is necessarily done. It's just like
Sure.
Old Fort might not have been the best location. Probably like higher end, like so McDowell County is a dry county still in North
Mhm.
Carolina. So all the the cities have to adopt legislation or vote for to be able to serve liquor or beer. So um the North Carolina statutes say that if you make it, you can sell it. So we are literally making everything from, a Blanco and a Reposado. We have, a fun Añejo project coming out. We're making our own vodka, our own bourbon, our own uh, rum, silver and navy. And then we have two different gins. And then on top of that, we're making like a triple sec, right? Because if
Nice.
you don't make triple sec and agave spirits, which we have to call because we're not making it in Mexico,
Mhm.
you can't make a margarita, right? And those are the components that you really don't like think about because you can buy them off the shelf pretty easily
Yeah.
in most places. So it is a unique concept to where like we really have to curate every layer of the cocktail that we're making, and I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think our products are definitely yeah, I'll put them up to the rest, and but I think that location in Old Fort necessarily like an outdoor town, not necessarily looking to go have a really nice bourbon after a mountain bike ride. Maybe it's more of like a city concept.
Yeah.
So, but the warehouse space, I mean, we have a big warehouse there as well. So we are doing all of our production down there. So it's kind of serving as like a dual purpose spot, and we're definitely going to keep the production of Modern Alchemist there for a while.
Sure.
That's definitely a conscious decision.
Do you feel that consumers understand? Like, or it's just it's all a place to do all these different things? Do you think they don't have the, I guess, thought process of, oh, you guys are a brewery. We're not going there for anything else. We're there for the beer. You know, like it's changed. That mentality's changed over the last 10 years for sure.
Absolutely. And I think that that's where it's just like the consumer touch point and education comes in. Like liquid to lips is everything. If somebody tries our product, I think they're really impressed. And I think that, when we're we're trying to be like that one-stop shop where we do have a ton of offerings, and if you don't want to imbibe in any alcohol, then we have THC. If you don't want that, we have NA products, and it's really just trying to create that community place, that gathering place where people feel comfortable and want to come out and enjoy and conversate and really build that community, which is I think what the breweries started out to be. It's why they were as successful as they are.
Well, I think it scratches an itch for you guys creatively as well. Like it
Oh yeah.
always pushes you. You're going into new categories. You know, tell me a little bit about that. Like just why you guys wanted to do it, because it's an opportunity to do something new.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Again, I think it's more of that. I'm a big, like, I love big beers. I love, like, we haven't done as much, but love spontaneous fermentation. I love stuff that takes time. And I think that part of, the spirit side is that patience. I think brewers have a lot of patience, but I think, it's really like what I'm not going to know how my whiskey tastes for another 2 years. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like, is this grain build really, really the one that we should be going with? I don't know. I have a good idea, but so I think that that's kind of like the fun part about it, and really just using that knowledge that we've gained along the road to try to refine everything as best as we can and make, good products. And we're, like I said, we're really excited with what we're working on and the stuff that we're going to come out with planned in the next couple of years. And, you know, um, yeah, just another part of the business that, honestly, on the beer side, with what we've been through with CBA and AB InBev and all that stuff, like, it's we'll never run away from it. I think, we're in the beer business for good, but I don't know if we're looking for that like aggressive expansion. We're more digging deep into our local territory with that. And yeah, the new category is definitely something that we're looking into to expand into and innovate. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk a little bit about kind of your history because it's so unique to people in entrepreneurship. But I
Yeah.
wanted to talk a little bit about Old Fort first. Like,
Yeah,
what
sure.
surprised you the most about when you opened the doors, and the consumer behaviors or patterns, or you're seeing numbers? Like, what was surprising to you when you first opened to see, okay, this is something that could be, going forward for us?
How much THC we were selling,
Yeah,
honestly. Like we're matching THC in liquor sales right now. It's kind of wild. And I think that really shows like if you create a space that people feel comfortable in, they're going to make a conscious decision to choose one or the other. And it's pretty wild. Also, like the liquor to go sales, because we can sell liquor by the bottle. Um, it that's a huge like experience driver for us. And yeah, just being able to share that was definitely probably the biggest standout. Um, also, the like we're from the South. We love Southern food. We love all the pub food fare, and that's what we've been good at. That's what we've been doing for a while. And I think, exploring that culinary side of the equation was definitely a risk. So it's not that we don't want to do something again. It just might be a different location, like more city centric is
sure.
probably the mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you guys go about looking where you want to go next? And is it putting beer in a territory first, then looking at the sales, then seeing like how, like again, you guys don't want to do that explosive thing. You don't want to just scattershot everything. How do you guys plan if there is growth? This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. Running a restaurant is a lot. You start out with a vision for something special, but that vision gradually gets overshadowed by the day to day of it all. Now, the thing that I love about Square is how it helps take some of that pressure off of you so you can actually enjoy why you started in the first place. When Square steps in, helping you save on food costs, get your menu seen by millions on Cash App, and get delivery app payouts faster, it frees up time and mental energy in a world where both are typically in short supply. Square, here for the magic that's not on the menu. Go to square.com/good stuff to get started. That's square.com/good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a process, right? I mean, you got to do your due diligence. You got to see, where the people are, how much competition's there. If your brand makes sense, if there is a location that actually would fit your mentality. If like, do you want a ton of outdoor space? Do you want beer garden vibe, or what really you're looking for? And then obviously it's like as operators, how easy is it for you to manage? And I think there's definitely something to be said to have, multiple locations that are very far away. But it's definitely a challenge to make sure that quality standards are kept and all that good stuff. So it's definitely a process. It doesn't take a short time. I think it was 2.5 years to get that Old Fort, or maybe 2 years to get Old Fort like solidified and up and running, all in. So it's a process. Like it's really a commitment for sure.
Yeah, how do you put trust in people to run a day-to-day operation when you're not there every single day? I mean, what kind of past history have you had to be able to get yourself to that trust level?
I mean, you have to, I hate to say it, but it's like check or trust but verify. You put systems in place and you expect that they're to be done, but you need to have also the systems to make sure that everything is kept well, and you build that team over time. I mean, it doesn't happen. You don't have, longstanding employees that have been with the company for a decade, just, overnight. And it's really just trying to, build that group. I mean, we offer 401ks and healthcare and all those benefits because we care about our team, and we want them to grow and live live happy, healthy lives. And I think if you commit to them, then I think it's reciprocated most of the time.
Well, like I said, I did want to talk a little bit about your history because it's so unique. It's you guys kind of, blew up quick. You got picked up. You're starting to work with CBA. You end up with AB InBev, and you guys stuck around for the whole thing, and you buy it back, and now you're doing it the way you want. There's obviously an emotional side to reacquiring your
Oh
company.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Did it feel like getting the band back together? Did you feel like you got a company back that wasn't something that you saw some changes that you had to make? I mean, how did all of this happen? And, how do you feel about it over these last 2 years that you guys have been back?
Yeah, so when we started, Chris and I were like 22 when we
Yeah.
started A&B, right? Crazy young. And we were brewers, like we were the brewers. So we were doing all the recipe formulation and all that stuff. And coming with that, we were minority owners. So when it at the end of the day, the financial side of the business wanted to sell. We didn't. And so, you have to take, that little bit of reality when you're, that young and you don't really know how or have the business experience to know what a minority equity stake actually has and what voting shares have. And so, when we sold the CVA, we, way turned away from recipe formulation, and we definitely still had our hands in it, but we weren't doing the day-to-day brewing, and turned more to the operations side, and then the innovation side with when we you know then got acquired by AB. It was more like big projects for me specifically. Like I launched the Bojangles Hard Sweet Tea, did a ton of work out west with some breweries, and really tried to work within the network. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we just felt like it was. I mean, we're young, man. We were 35 when we bought it back, and it's just like our time isn't over. We're not trying to like kick back and relax. Like we still have a little bit of energy. So we just we thought that with the industry in the way that it was, we thought that it would be better under our care. And obviously, like you said, there's a huge emotional connection to it. When you start something, it's really hard to let it go. And yeah, and so I think it's been great. We've learned a lot. We've definitely taken some risks, and we now have 3 locations, so we're definitely leaning more on the experiential side of things. And you know, I think innovation has been at our core from the get go, as so many brewers um, can relate to. But yeah, I mean, we're excited to be back, and we're as involved as ever.
Is it has it have I mean, again, and you're growing up too, so that, and you're going through all this, but like, how has your style, your thought process changed? And I'm sure a lot of it is, the nature around you, instead of just the fact that, okay, it's 13 years of, experience, but like, how much have you look at yourself at 22 versus, being now an older uh owner? Like, how much has that
Yeah.
changed for you and thought process of what you want to do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of gives us a unique perspective from like working in like every segment of the business almost. And uh, I think it definitely equips us with a perspective that is unique. Like I like to say that we've been uh, in the belly of the beast and back. Um, and so, I mean, we took a lot of really strong learnings from AB, and I think taught us some pretty invaluable lessons. I mean, they know how to sell a lot of beer. They know how to make it, uh, and so I don't know if we would have ever gotten that type of exposure without going through that. I don't know if I would choose to do it like again. I don't think that's like it was never a part of my again. I'm starting out. We never thought that that was the end game like at all. Like
Right.
you said, it happened super quick. Um, and we were just really focused on quality back then. We were like, how do we make the best beers that we can possibly make? And, you know, and yeah, and I think now it's, quality is still there, but I think now it's really trying to focus on, you know, sustainable growth and diversification and making sure that the business is healthy. And yeah.
After all these years, what still excites you about being a brewery owner?
I mean, I love Western North Carolina, and I love to be involved in the community. I love supporting our local nonprofit partners and really getting to know people in the area. And I um, I mean I yeah, I just love really the community part hits home to me the most. Um, and I don't know if I would have that same exposure if I was doing anything else. And yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 years, but we're going to be here for it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk about, the developments at Old Fort, what you guys have been up to in the past, and sharing some of those insights. But I always like ending things a little more light, a little more fun, get to know you type of questions, goofy one-offs. So you ready for these?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. What's something that you own that you should have thrown away years ago but refused to?
Oh my gosh. Um, I have unhealthy supply of like bikes that like instead of like selling one of my old bikes, I just like keep on to it. For some reason they're piling up. So I need to do something with them. Honestly, yeah, they're getting rusty.
Pedal or motor?
Both actually. Yeah, yeah,
Well, you never know when you're going to need a part. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
reasoning right
yeah,
there.
yeah, 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 for sure.
Uh, what's your favorite road trip snack combination?
Ooh, um, uh, I hate to say it, but like the Albanese gummies, like they're coming out of Germany right now, are
Hmm.
fantastic. Especially the sour ones. And then I like what else? Like dried mangoes and fruits and stuff like that. I guess like I definitely have that sweet tooth. So yeah.
Gotcha. I'm always protein. It's like the only time I eat beef jerky is while I'm driving. I don't know why,
I mean, I love beef jerky too. I mean, it's definitely yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
but it's
Um,
always available on the end stand. You know to look
that's
for it
true.
when you walk into a
That's
gas
true.
station. That's always one.
That's
So
true.
that's
Yeah.
for me.
I guess it depends on how far you're going.
True, true.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, last one. What's your go-to excuse when you want to leave a party early?
Oh man, I'm an Irish goodbye type of guy, man. I'm a ghost in the wind, you know. I see the door. If I tell my significant other that we're ready to go, gives the special nod, and we're out. So, if you're surrounded by people that love you, they understand. They get
Yeah.
it. So, yeah,
I am terrible at it. I don't know how to say goodbye without having, and I'm from the Midwest. So like we
same,
have that
same.
Midwest goodbye where it's just like, well, and you're there for 15 more minutes. So,
Yeah, I'm like, well, and let's go. you know.
well, I
So,
won't do that to you here. No, I won't just turn it off. We won't end it, but I will say thank you so
yeah,
much for
same.
being on the podcast with us, Nathan. We appreciate it.
John, man, been a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.